225. It's your boy Tony 2 times, and we back tonight with another episode of Hood Tales, man. This is episode 3, and we're going to take it to Chicago, Illinois, and talk about Team 600. Let's get into it. Chicago, Illinois, Midwest, the home of the Chicago Bulls, and some of the most talented people to hit the entertainment industry. But in the trenches of Chicago, one group of young men will live out a real tragedy right in front of the camera and in the streets of Southside. Chicago is home of a lot of different organizations, Team 600 being one of them. 60th and King Drive was their hood and stomping grounds. The squad consisted of BDs and some GDs to form 600. The famous O Block, where Chief Keef and King Von are from, and Land Run, where Lil Durk and Lil Reese are from, consist of BDs that are linked to 600 as well. While Keef was taking the world by storm with Don't Like, and Durk was one foot in the industry as well, things were looking up for the BDs. So it was only right for the brothers, Team 600, to be up next. The two front rappers for 600 was Rondonumbanine and LA Capone, two talented young men that were dedicated to their hood and squad. Lil Steve was a young man from Team 600 and also the blood brother of Memo 600. He unfortunately lost his life at a young age, and the team will rename their hood from King Drive to Steve Drive in memory of Lil Steve. In every song, you can hear a young Rondo saying Steve Drive before hopping on the verse. Him and LA were like a dynamic duo. Other members also hopped in the booth to get the movement pushing. Cdai 22 Shots and Edai are blood brothers and also Team 600 and started rapping as well. But in Chicago culture, the music was talking about real street situations, such as ops, smoking packs, and disrespecting the other side. The GDs and MCs also had rappers who were trying to get on while the light was being shed on Chicago. 051 Young Money is the ops to Team 600. Also 63rd and St. Lawrence, STL Clout Boys, Flyboy Gang, in which Clout Boys also had talented rappers such as the late great LBG Duck, Cash, Dutchy, Young, and a few other guys like Lil J and Billionaire Black. The MCs in 051 also had a few rappers such as Lil Mark. Team 600 would drop songs sending shots at the other group and shedding light on the drill culture. Drilling being a Chicago term for going on a hit or mission. The diss tracks were like nothing the world has ever seen before. Smoking on packs is disrespecting the opposition that lost their life in the street war. And talking about hits being done at this time, Keef and Durk was putting on for the BDs in the music industry. Durk would double back and link up with Team 600 to get him a better push to get closer to the industry. LA was a lyricist and was dropping songs that would gain worldwide notoriety, like So Loud, Play for Keeps, and the Team 600 collaboration. Their main hitters was often mentioned in their lyrics. D Rose and Take 600 Up Them Rugers, or See They Got 22 Shots. While the world was fascinated with the Chicago slang and culture, this was real life and true events for Team 600 and other squads. Losing members and ducking shots was an everyday struggle for all the young men. They referred to catching an enemy as catching an op lacking or not paying attention to their surroundings, and members on both sides were lost to the streets. The squads even talked about hits, referring to it as scoring, or check the scoreboard to see who was up in the beef, but it definitely wasn't a game. The light was being shed on Chicago, but not only for talent, but for the levels of violence as well, in which they received the nickname Chirac. Crazy thing about it, these dudes was young, 16, 17, 18, some even 15, living in a war zone. Chicago was known for some of the biggest housing projects in the world, and different organizations came from each project or buildings. When the projects were torn down, organizations moved to the blocks and started repping their corner of the city. Some so-called ops were even family members. During all this, another young man from 069 Brick Squad, JoJo, was shot the world with a diss song and was getting attention until he unfortunately lost his life to the streets, and which 600 talked about in the music. Despite all the negativity, the squad was doing numbers with the music, but their alleged street activity would change everything. One of their key players, LA Capone, would go to a recording studio one day when the ops would get his location and wait for him to exit. LA was hit up and unfortunately lost his life right before his birthday, and his career was ready to take off. The loss brought the squad to their knees. As LA was a loved member, his best friend Take 600 would step up for his brother and start taking music more seriously. Rondo was still rapping, paying homage to his fallen brother LA, but behind the lyrics was real pain and anger, and the squad wanted payback. A member of 051 Young Money would drop a diss song, speaking on all the lost 600 and 300 members before he fatally was hit. Things was getting super real and would reach boiling point when a young man lost his life and police felt as though Team 600 was responsible. Rondo and Cdai would be jammed up for the alleged hit, two of 600's front rappers, and Take 600 as well, but he was let go. In a matter of months, Team 600 lost 3 front runners in music and more important members behind the scene. Take 600 would be targeted by his own squad after allegations of him telling on Rondo and Cdai, which later turned out to be false, but the damage was already done. Rondo and Cdai both were convicted and received 60 years apiece. LA was gone, and Tay was now a solo artist that changed his name to Tay Capone in remembrance for his brother LA Capone. D Rose also received a lot of time for an alleged hit, and which some people say he's innocent of. It's like the squad was self-destructing. Other members lost their life in the streets, and some were sent to prison. A few members would go on to make it in the industry, like 600 Breezy, Buka 600, Mimo 600, but things just wasn't the same. Eternal beef and losses to top members, the squad lost their momentum. And after the situation with Take 600, people felt like they turned on their day one homie. Team 600 could have went to the top, but the streets took over. Moral of the story, you can't do both, music and the streets. And what you reap, what you sow. And what you put in the universe definitely will come true. Last but not least, just because you think your homies love you, time will only tell. Free 9, 22, and D Rose, rest in peace LA. Man, it's crazy. You know, like, pretty sure everybody familiar with Team 600. They was on the top, man. Rest in peace, Zach TV. You know, Zach put the camera and the light on these guys. You know, putting Chicago on the map and interviewing all the top guys from different sections. He ain't had no choice. He ain't had no picks. He went to the GDs, BDs, MCs, just to shed light. But it's crazy because these young men could have had it all. They could have definitely went to the top, man. But the streets got in the way. Moral of the story, man, y'all stay focused, man, and it ain't worth it. You feel me? This is another episode of Hood Tales. Be sure to like, comment, share the video. Love y'all, fam. I'm out.